Boys, we are back, episode 117 going down right now. And of course, I'm here with my brother, Joey Allen.
What's up? What's up?
Not much, man. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Love this space, bro. I just can't get over it. I know this is our third episode in the space now, but I'm just like obsessed, bro.
Every time we come in here, I just feel ready to work.
And today's guest, super big guest. I'm very excited for this one. We've actually been in talks about getting her on for a while. We were supposed to get her on in our old studio. And then we were like, okay, no, it's all good. We're going to be moving into a new space very soon. Just hold on tight. Shit hit the fan. Then we get into a new space. Shit hit the fan with there. So now we're finally in our home studio. Feels so good, man. I'm very excited for today's episode. But before we jump into that, let's do Win of the Week.
Let's do it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is episode 117, Win of the Week. You want to start us off?
Yeah, I'll go first this time. I have a random shout out. You know, it's a no free shout out podcast, but there's this. It's called Working Hands. My woman got it for me. You know, I do a very hard working job. My hands, they do a lot. And they've been getting fucked up, but she bought me some Working Hands. It's like this hand cream. It's not lotion.
Is it for calluses and stuff like that?
Yeah, it's like dry, cracked skin. And my hands they just get fucked up. And I started wearing that shit and like they just feel better. Like
your hands get bad in the winter.
Yeah, especially because they dry out real bad.
For sure.
Yeah, but I mean, that's my win of the week is that Working Hands hand cream because that shit saved my life.
Does it work?
I mean, yeah, my hands, they don't like crack.
Okay, let's talk New Year's resolutions because my New Year's resolution and your New Year's resolution is to get more, like we've already been in the gym like pretty consistently, but it's only like 3-4 days a week. We have stuff come up. Also, you know, back when we were in the gym, we also weren't really like eating a specific way.
We were just working out.
Exactly. And so now 2025, New Year's resolution.
Road to 200, baby.
The road to 200, brother.
Yeah, so that doesn't help my hands either, but
I was going to say, we're going to be, I mean, for me, I know you've obviously been in the gym this whole past week, and I've been in the gym as well, but now it's like a 5 to 6 day a week thing. Every single day we're in the gym, rest day here and there. But I mean, bro, my hands are the exact same way. Like I could use some of that fucking hand cream.
I got a whole jar of it for
I'm letting you borrow some of that shit from you,
brother. But yeah, let's talk about that road to 200. Or do you want to do your one of the week?
No. I'll win my one of the week in a second. But road to 200, bro, I'm very excited about this because I know, like, obviously, like, road to 200, for me, bro, that's going to be a fucking hike. You know what I'm saying?
It's
like
a long road.
A long, bumpy road. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm trying to put on weight. My metabolism is so high. It's always been tough for me to put on weight. But the protein shakes are my best friend right now, bro.
I get a Snapchat every night of Nick drinking a full blender. And he's just, okay, he'll drink it. It takes like, it's a long Snapchat. It's like 30 different videos. And then as soon as he's done, he's like, I'm fucking ripped. You can't tell right now, but I'm fucking ripped. I'm just sitting there laughing.
We call it NFL Combine prep, baby. No, but like every morning, I'm definitely trying to eat like either some kind of eggs or meat or whatever it is, bro, and just like consistently be intaking food. That's just the biggest thing for me because you can be in the gym all day long, but
if you don't eat, you're not going to grow.
You're not going to grow. You're just going to get really cut. And so that's my biggest thing. I'm trying to put on weight right now. And road to 200 is more of just like a goal we're setting.
To get bigger.
Yeah, I don't really expect myself to actually weigh 200 pounds. I would love to if I was.
You get 200 pounds, boy, I might,
brother.
I might watch what I say. You know?
How far do you have to go until you hit 200?
I'm sitting at like, I'd say, I haven't weighed myself in a long time, but I'm probably sitting like 174 right now. My heaviest, I was like 181. And I didn't really like myself at 181, but I was 181 and kind of fat. So if I'm bigger and more cut, I'll probably like it more.
And bulking, you know, you're going to look a little bit like, you know, fluffier first, you know what I'm saying? But then once you get in there and you start cutting that weight down, you'll actually have some muscle to like build off of, you know what I mean?
And it's crazy. We might even realize that we don't need to be that big because when I was 180, like, bro, like, going upstairs was tough. For sure. I'm just like a smaller person. Like my frame, I'm small. So like me carrying 180 pounds everywhere.
He's a little baby.
I'm a little baby. So like 200, brother, I couldn't imagine.
No, you're going to be holding that that's going to be a funny weight on you.
I'm not going to fit through that door. I'm going to have to turn sideways.
But no, for me, honestly, bro, like when I first stepped on a scale, I was very surprised. I thought I was at least in like the 165 range or whatever. But honestly, bro, I was like mid 150s.
That's wild.
And so I was like, even when I said road to 200, I was like, Jesus Christ, this is going to be a long road. But really, I think if I'm at like 185, you know what I mean? Maybe like 10, 15% body fat or something like that, bro. I think we'll be looking.
What's the most you've ever weighed, you know?
In high school, when I was like actually like really trying to put on weight and I was playing football and stuff, probably like 170. I was probably like teetering around that 170 range. But honestly, bro, like even
did you feel bigger? Like
for sure.
Back then, do you feel like you were a lot bigger than what you are now?
Not a lot bigger, but definitely like I just don't think I was as strong as I was. Like now, like people be surprised how much, like I'm actually fucking like squatting some good weight right now. Benching, I'm putting up more on bench than I've ever put up on
95?
bench.
95?
84. 84.
Damn, brother.
No, I'm just kidding. I don't even think you can get 84 on a fucking bench. But no, like definitely been putting on some more weight in those areas and getting stronger, but it's now just about putting on mass. You know what I'm saying? So I think 185 would be a really good weight for me if it's like healthy 185.
Right,
you know what I mean? I stay on the grind that I'm at right now. So really, when we say road to 200, it's more.
We're just
like,
trying to get bigger.
That's it. We're just trying to get bigger.
Fuck the 200. We're gonna say that, but 185 will be cool.
But it's a good New Year's resolution. Wanted to update all the people on that. But no, my win of the week, brother. So we have a new thing coming to the podcast. By the time this episode comes out, I think we've already dropped a few of them.
Yeah.
But sound check sessions.
Sound check sessions is
I'm
amazing.
so excited for this. I just wanted to also like explain it in an intro for some of the people that are going to be seeing it. So as everyone knows, has been following this podcast for a long time. We have a ton of music artists on here, rappers, country singers, alternative people, like just so many different kinds of music artists. And we wanted to have a way for them to come on here and like debut their new song or just get their music in front of our audience, because sometimes like you have an artist on here and it's so hard to explain like how good of an artist they are without
when
like,
we're just sitting here talking about what their favorite food is.
No, exactly. And also like they could talk about a song and explain it, but like until you hear the song, you don't really know what the fuck they're talking about. And so, it's pretty much just going to be a place for artists to come on here and showcase their music. Some of them, maybe they've had an episode in the past. We just want to bring them back so that they can perform their song. I think it'll be a really cool platform. I think it'll be an awesome way for us to like kind of give a different like angle of the artist, you know what I mean? Like show them performing their song. But also I'm really excited for it too, because me and you love some
it's
of
a
these
whole
artists,
nother
man.
lane for us too.
It definitely
we
is.
Just get to go a whole nother way with this podcast.
And we're doing so many different things already in the new studio that are like different forms of promo and different types of episodes and things like that. But no, I think this will just add a totally different like aspect to it. The guest that we have on today after we record this episode is going to be doing her version of a sound check sessions, and it's going to be all live in the studio. So we're very excited about that. She brought her sound crew and everything.
Yeah, it was crazy.
So at the time of us recording this intro, it's after the episode. So it's just like, dude, everything went so good. I'm really excited to jump into this one. Let's not waste too much time on it. You ready?
Let's do it.
All right, this is episode 117. Let's jump right into it. What up, OGs? We are here, episode 117 going down right now. And of course, I'm here with my brother, Joey Allen.
Yes, sir. What's up?
How you feeling, man?
I'm feeling good. I'm happy to be here.
Very excited for this episode. Obviously, huge guest in the building today. I'm super pumped for this one. This honestly might be the cutest guest that we've ever had in the building. I think
it is the cutest guest we've ever had.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the cutest guest to ever be on the OG Sessions pod. His name is Malachi, and he brought his owner. She's a singer, songwriter, and actor, Madison Grace.
Say hello, Malachi.
Hi.
How's it going?
It's going go.
He's excited. He's got to make his intro. He said,
I'm saying hi. Hello.
So it's a pleasure to have you on the podcast today. Obviously, doing our research for this episode. Oh, he's excited.
He was literally so calm. Like
he liked that intro. He heard it.
That was good.
It's okay, Bubba. Yeah,
he's so cute. How old is Malachi?
He will be 2 years old in May. He wants to tell you himself, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
he's a natural. I love it.
No, he is. He's gonna come say hi. It's so crazy. Literally for the last like 20 minutes, he's been so good. And now as soon as we hit record, he's like,
that's how it goes.
Up. Yeah.
He knows the cameras are rolling. He's got to make his debut.
Bubby, go lay down.
This is Malachi's show.
It's his world. We're just living in it.
100%.
No, literally.
No, he's such a good boy. But I can't believe he's only 2.
Yeah, not in May. Yeah, he'll be 2. I think.
Gosh. And how'd you get Malachi? How'd this happen?
He's a rescue. He was my dad's neighbor's dog, and just long story short, we ended up with him, and he's been through a lot. He's been ran over and then had surgery, so he's bionic dog. Yeah, he's got a metal plate. He's got a metal plate in his hip. You'd never be able to tell.
But, what a badass! Yeah, he was just running around.
And he's
there.
A service dog, man. Like, wow. Yeah, I trained him myself. He's a good boy.
He's a robo dog.
Yeah, bionic dog. That's what I call him.
That's so cool. So do you take him everywhere?
Pretty much, yeah. Even to Publix, they're always harassing me like, you can't have him. Like, here's his papers, man. Like,
yeah,
she showed us. He's got a whole card, like an ID with his face on it.
Yep. Best $500 I ever spent.
I was gonna say, is that a tough process getting a service dog?
Not really. Like, I honestly think it should probably be a little bit tougher. Like, I think there should probably be like a way to kind of prove, like at least like send in a video of them doing what they do.
Yeah.
But I do know that the requirements to have like a basic service animal is they have to walk on a leash without pulling. They have to be able to sit and lay down like on command.
Okay.
And they have to be non-aggressive without being provoked. So like if somebody came up to me and was like harassing me, or another dog was like growling at him or whatever, he's allowed to retaliate, but he can't just like go in and like, be aggressive and attack someone.
Yeah. That's the one thing is like my dog, I'd love to have him as a service animal, but he's so like well trained that he won't even like defend himself.
Yeah.
So like when we're out in public sometimes, or we used to go to the dog park all the time, and like now he's getting older, he's like 12, but when we used to go to the dog park when he was younger, like dogs would come up to him and be kind of aggressive, and he just would like not really do anything about it.
And the
he's
more
a
like
bigger
they
dog
don't
too.
react, and the more they don't react, it's like the more the dogs want to get a reaction out of them.
Exactly.
I worked as a doggy daycare attendant, so I am like dog handler certified, and I've trained dogs my whole life. I love dogs. We grew up with dogs, and is that your microphone, Bubs?
He's so freaking cute.
Thank you. He's like a big teddy bear,
He is.
But yeah, no, he's cool. I always I love him, man. Like he's probably like the best thing that ever happened to me. I remember the first time I met him, I was like sitting on my dad's back porch after I'm from Mississippi.
Okay.
So I was down here and I drove like 10 hours to get up to North Mississippi. And it was like 3:00 in the morning. It's back when I smoked cigarettes, and I was like sitting on the back porch, just like smoking a cig, just trying to come down from a long drive. And I felt like something was staring at me. Yes, I talk about you. Felt like something was staring at me, and I look up and I just see him like dreads in his hair, all dirty. I'm like, well, hi, Scruffy baby, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And that was it. That was
And how old was he at that time?
Probably like, shh, I hear you. Okay. Probably like 6 months old.
He's
Big boy, you want to come sit with us?
Settle.
He's a cutie.
Settle.
So let's jump into your journey. So singer, songwriter, actor, you do a lot of different things.
Yeah.
This is dope. So
Thank you.
how long have you been singing for?
I've been singing professionally since I was about 11, 12 years old.
Okay.
I started like singing when I was really young. My grandfather had a church in North Mississippi, and my mama and my uncle sang in church, and my grandmother played piano, and music's just always been like a huge part of my life. And so started singing like when I was like 2 in church and just like performing. I loved it.
Yeah.
And then started piano when I was like 5. And it's crazy because in North Mississippi, there's one piano teacher, and everybody could not like get along with her. She was very, very tough, but for some reason, like me and her just clicked. Like I was definitely one of her favorite students. I never experienced like anything, mean or harsh or really strict with her. Like I just, really enjoyed music. And then when I was 13, I picked up the ukulele, and then by 11, 12, I was picking up guitar, and then started doing some drums and learning to play drums when I was like 18, 19.
So you were just intrigued with the whole music scene.
Yeah, like
you wanted to do everything.
Yeah, basically like if you give me an instrument, like I'm just gonna like, how do you do this? You know? And then like the other day, my friend Austin, we were doing some stuff at the studio, and he had a mandolin, and I was like, oh, how does this work? And so I just like looked up mandolin chords and just started like,
what's a mandolin?
I don't know what a mandolin.
I was gonna say, I feel like I can picture
it's
it. But
a bluegrass instrument or like country instrument. Most people hear it in like bluegrass. You might see it being played at church. I'll show you a picture.
Can you play the slide guitar?
Oh God, no! I wish like that. That's like a whole different thing. I have a lot of slide in my songs, like Slide Dobro, and we've actually like if anybody out there is gonna start putting sitar in their country music, you got it from me. I'm just saying because
what's sitar?
It's an Indian instrument. It comes from India, and it's literally what it sounds. You have to sit down to play it, and you have to play it upright, and it's that like like when you hear like Indian folk music or like Indian music, it's that
it is kind of twangy though.
Yeah, it's very twangy.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's so twangy, and I'm so intrigued by music history and like how we went from like the banjo is a combination of a Celtic instrument and like slave. As much as I hate to say it, but like slave instrumentation, and like bluegrass really comes from like you had the slave back in the day, like in especially Mississippi, where like the Delta, where blues comes from, the slave call and response, back, in the African call and response way of singing, and then mixed with like the Celtic mountain Appalachian music. It's like, the slaves would go up there, they met the Celtics, and they got together and like created bluegrass, basically. Like, that's a very like gross, stripped down version of like the actual history that happened. Because it's a long history of like how music went from like, tribal singing and drums to what it is today. And, there's a lot of people to thank for that. I thank the Beatles most of all for like, introducing modern music now, but there's like a lot of people that throughout history has created music to what it is today. And I'm so interested in that and like the psychology behind it and all of that. I love music, man. It's like, it's the one language that everyone speaks in the entire world.
What would you say your genre is?
That's a mandolin.
Okay.
The tiny little thing.
I've seen that for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
So what would you say your genre is?
Hold on, before you say this, I just got to point this out because, okay, so your image, right? You have black hair, it's WWE, like you look alternative. But then you say some things. You got the boots on, okay? So that follows your accent that comes from out of nowhere. Because you'll just be talking, and then you say like cigarettes.
I try to hide it. I was trained classically, vocally. When I was like in high school and middle school, and I had a Colombian vocal teacher who just like ripped my accent to shreds, like ripped me to shreds. I had to do a lot of work to fix my diphthong and not sound like this when I'm trying to sing.
There it is.
Singing in Baroque Italian.
Why would you want to fix that?
Well, because when you're, nel cor più non mi sento, I can't be nel cor più non mi sento.
Okay.
Like, you can't.
I see, yeah.
So, but she is really interesting because she taught like pop music and anything that's not classical, in my opinion, when I'm like breaking down music, if it's not classical, it's pop. If it's not pop, and it's like classical, so like jazz, country, anything that's like popular music that's not like classical.
Yeah.
She taught pop music and classical music. So she, instead of me having to learn 2 pieces at a time, I was learning 4 pieces at a time. I was learning English and different language classical piece, and I was learning an English and different language like musical theater pop piece.
Okay, I see.
So she taught me very differently than she taught the other girls. I remember being like, hey, like, do you ever have to do like these types of warm-ups? And they're like, no, that's insane. I was like, oh, she makes me do them. Like, I have to practice these techniques.
What kind of warm-ups?
God, I don't even know if I could do it now, but it would be like I'd have to sing a scale. I'd have to sing a scale in major. So like if it's like a C major scale, and then I'd have to sing the same scale in the parallel minor. So then I'd have to go major then minor. So it'd be like let's see if I remember it. Hold on. Oh dang it.
That's really
That's
good.
great. So you're like reversing it?
Yeah, I have to reverse it and sing the parallel minor and just stuff like that. And
I'm glad you gave us an example. I had no clue what you were talking
I know
about.
when you started going, I was like, okay, we're for it here.
No, because she was like, you think, she's like, Ariana Grande can do it, Justin Timberlake can do it, why can't you? And I was like, girl, well, I guess I'm gonna learn.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess I'm gonna do it. So it's okay. I know. He said, I want to talk. Okay. But so it was very interesting, and even I would be trying my hardest to not have a diphthong and to not have a diphthong and not have an accent. And then my adjudicators or my judges would just be like, I hear a slight diphthong, you try doing this, and they're like, go, oh, and I would go, oh, and they're like, no, go, oh, and I'm like, I'm doing it. I promise you I'm doing it.
Yeah.
I know.
Did you ever think about going the country route?
Yeah, like that. I mean, before I even started doing classical music, like I was already singing in bars.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, like, before I even started, my audition for School of the Arts was I brought in my guitar and like sang a song I wrote, and they were like, okay, yeah, we can work with that. And then they just like ripped me to shreds and taught me, that's your pop music. Shh. I'm about to, no.
He's like, I got input.
Yeah, I know. What is it? Tell me. Go get your mini Mally. Go bring him. Would you mind to hand me that little stuffed animal? on the ground.
Hand the emotional support animal his emotional support animal.
Yes, exactly. If you wouldn't mind. Thank you, sir. There you go.
Good boy.
Good boy.
No, because it's funny because like, you like the way they're teaching you is kind of like to get away from that diphthong and things like that. But in reality, I mean, you'd be great for country.
So, well, that's the thing is like, you hear it all the time and I hate when I hear people like faking it. And I'm sure I'll probably get people being like, oh, she's faking it. And it's like, no, I'm just really nervous right now. So this is just what I retort to. I don't want people to think, I'm just some dumb white trash from Mississippi. So, not knocking anybody.
You're real good at it.
Well, I mean, this is what I grew up with. Yeah, my hometown is 483 people the last time I saw. God. My cousin's the mayor.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
My
that's
aunt's the secretary of town hall, and town hall is literally a building that's like smaller. Like town hall is probably like the size of like this little, not this room, but like this section.
Yeah,
right here. Like
that's
it's so tiny.
Funny.
Yeah, it's
so what
insane.
made you move to Jacksonville?
That's a long story, man. I've moved to Jacksonville and out of Jacksonville. This is like my third time moving back. And it's just that same old story of like, producer wants to work with you and promises all these things. And then those things don't happen when you don't give them when you don't give them like what they're expecting from you, especially as a female sometimes, or a male, it goes both ways. Discrimination goes both ways.
Yeah.
And, and so I moved out, and then another producer was like, yeah, come work with me. And I was like, okay. And then that just, it's,
he doesn't realize how big he is.
Yeah, no, he doesn't. He thinks he's that size right there.
That's so funny.
He gets so jealous of my cat. But and then another producer, and we're figuring stuff out now. But it's just same old story. And then I moved back home, and then I moved back because out of everything that I've been through now as an artist.
Yeah.
Shh. Okay. Oh,
he's so cute.
Thank you. I'm sorry.
So
He's
it's funny because we've spoke with so many music artists and they all kind of say the same thing. It's like trying to find that team and trying to find like that good producer is such a battle. Why is that?
I think that like you said, it's what a lot of musicians go through. It's very common in the industry, musicians and artists and actors and models, like we all have really big dreams, and everybody has those dreams, especially if you're very passionate about it, of doing great things with it. And there are people out there who are just so willing to exploit that. And sometimes I feel like it's people who also, they want to support you, but they don't know how, and they try and they try and they try and they fail, and then they don't know how to say like, I can't do this anymore. Like I don't know what I'm doing, and then everybody just ends up kind of losing in that situation.
For sure.
And then there's those producers who are just so money hungry, and they think like, oh, I can make money off of this, but it's like, how are you going to make money off of this if I'm not, and if I'm not doing what you wanted me to? No,
for sure. And like they kind of have their own little like, what is it, like a plan kind of behind the scenes? You know what I mean? Their own you know what I'm thinking of? Yeah. You know what it is. Like they've got their own ideas for what they want for your career.
Yeah. And, I think it's so sad, especially now, like it's a double-edged sword, because we're in an age now where you can get fame so quickly, and there are people who just like crash and burn when they get that fame so fast. And then there are people who like build a cult following. We were talking about like Madison Hughes. Shout out to Madison Hughes. Like,
yeah, shout out Madison.
She's really built like a cult following of people that just love her and love her music. And that's the journey I'm on, out of everybody I've worked with and everything I've done and all the things I've just learned that, the best thing I can do for myself, especially in this day and age, is just do it for myself. Do it myself. But
yeah, it's funny because it's like with Madison's a great example because she did kind of like do a lot of groundwork, and I feel like nowadays like content is key. Yeah, and she's someone that is just like pushing out so much of that, And
that's where I'm trying to get to is like I feel like I've done the groundwork. Like I said, I've been playing in bars since I was 11 years old. I've played as many festivals as I could. I hope he's not about to like lay down and move the camera.
Oh no, you're good. Okay, Joey, keep an eye on that. If you see it move a little
starting
bit,
to fall down, he'll definitely move the camera. But no, like I've played as many festivals as I could, and I've done everything. Like I've played the Seawalk Pavilion down here in Jax. I've lived in Nashville. I've met people. I've opened for people. People have opened for me. I've the last like 15 years of my life, I've really just been working so hard at perfecting my stage presence, perfecting my shows, perfecting me as an artist. And, you know, I feel like, you know, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, people would just like take that artist and just give them all the tools necessary to be themselves and be exactly who they are, you know, with some tweakments, with some media training, with some, you know, things. But like, look at Kurt Cobain, look at, you know, all these amazing artists who just got to be themselves.
Yeah.
And, you know, now it's just, everything just seems very fabricated and everything seems very just, what's the word? Like manufactured. Everything is like very manufactured. And that's something that I think within the next like 10 years is really going to just like, we're going to step away from. I think people are, especially with the amount of content and the type of content that is being created and that is being consumed, people want that real rawness. And you see like all the time, people are like, oh, like they're faking being real. Like they're cosplaying as being poor. They're cosplaying as being real and raw and not actually being their authentic self. I think that's what people are craving. They're craving people and artists who are just unapologetically themselves.
Yeah, and they're just doing it for the love of the music as opposed to like doing it for the fame money, or the money for sure. Yeah.
And you can tell. You can definitely tell. But what's crazy is like I recently read an article where like Sony Music has bought out like some of the biggest like indie or like independent distributors, and you're about to see a huge influx of independent artists being gate held at like the highest level.
Really?
Yeah, it's about to start happening.
How does that work?
So basically, like, to my knowledge, I am no expert at this whatsoever. Like, I'm still learning. I'm still, you know, trying to figure out all my stuff and figure out the industry myself, especially as much as it's changed. Like, I've watched it change from when I was 11, 12, 13 years old and like a teenager to now, like how much it's changed in the last like 5 years. In fact, like since COVID, it's insane. But what happens is like, so really all the label is good for now is just like promoting you and distributing your stuff, you know, getting you ads, getting you certain like times on the radio, or not even on the radio, but like getting you on playlists, getting you on, you know, Instagram ads and TikTok ads and just like pumping out content, right, for you. But when it comes to indie artists, like we have to do all that ourselves. And so we go through places like DistroKid, CD Baby, and there's like a whole list of, you know, TuneCore. There's like a whole list of distributing websites that indie artists can use. And you know, some of the major ones are being bought out by Sony, which means Sony is going to be able to like mess with the algorithm and like mess with like, you know, what you're releasing and like how you're releasing it and how it's perceived and like how it's going to get on, you know, certain playlists and certain stuff. Like all the stuff that a label would do for you, you have to do for yourself. They're just going to make it harder for you to do it for yourself.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're going to see a lot more of those, like, you know, it's not going to be as many independent artists that are going to be able to put their shit out there that easy.
Yeah. And it's probably going to be way more expensive now too.
Gosh, well, I mean, I salute you because a lot of the songs that you've done, obviously, a lot of yours you wrote by yourself, and just the writing behind them are fucking so dope.
Thank you.
But then you went and even did a cover of
Thriller.
Yeah, that one was so much fun.
That shit slaps. I'm not gonna lie, I almost like it more than Michael's version.
Oh my God, stop! No,
no, I mean it's like it's really good. It's easy to listen to. It's fire.
Thank you. I worked with Paul Lipinski on that, which I think y'all might be familiar with. If not,
who was mentioning Paul Lipinski? I was gonna say
he works with like every artist in Jacksonville, basically. Like he is probably one of the most successful producers in Jacksonville. Like he works 9 to 5 every day. Like he, you know, you work on his clock, not on yours. You know what I mean? Like he's, and rightfully so, you know, for how like he has probably the best microphone in Jacksonville. I would go as far to say for vocal. I love singing on his microphone, which these microphones are like really good too. I like these.
Appreciate
nice.
that. Yeah.
Sure. That's my
no, the MV7Xs are fire.
Yeah, no, these are awesome. But yeah, no, he has probably the best microphone and best vocal producing in Jacksonville, if not Florida, if not, you know, in this like area.
What's so special about his microphone?
It's the price first from. It's like it's just so good. Like I'm not a gearhead. I'm more of like theory, history kind of person. I'm not a gearhead, but I know here. But
Do you think it's about his audio, like the way he tunes the audio too, like how he kind of like produces the actual song?
He just knows how to make people sound good.
Okay.
And if you already sound good and you already like tune yourself and you have a good tone, like he will make you sound even better.
Wow.
I've never been happier with how my vocals sound than coming out of his booth.
Wow.
And it's not even like, I don't like Melodyne. I don't like auto-tune. Like when we record, like a lot of people will record with auto-tune. I record raw.
Okay,
Like,
yeah.
if I need to fix it, I will get it absolutely as close as human possible to being perfect before he does any kind of filter, because everybody puts a filter on it. Everybody, does some tweakments or whatnot, but I get it like to a point where he's not even moving it half a decibel. Like I don't want him to have to touch that vocal at all when I'm singing. I get very adamant about that. I've done so much training vocally as an artist, and I am very adamant about like I don't use Melodyne. I don't use autotune. I don't use that stuff live. There's a lot of artists. Like if you see a MacBook, 9 out of 10 times they're using like a form of Melodyne or autotune live.
Wow.
And even if it's like not even like a rap artist, because that's very common in rap.
No, for sure. Yeah.
But,
I mean,
like,
Travis Scott, that boy,
yeah.
that boy does a live show. I still have no idea what his voice sounds like. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like it's insane. Like even like there's a lot of country artists that I know that I've performed with that are running Melodyne and autotune for a live concert, and it just like
It's not authentic.
I mean, and I'm trying not to like be judgy and like be a purist, but like it's just like, man,
it's just not traditional. Like you're taking away from like the art of it.
Well, not even and not even that it's not traditional. You're just taking away from like the humanness of art, and like with all the like perfectness in music and the manufacturing of music, like you're just taking away the human in art.
Yeah.
And it's just so sad.
No,
like
for sure.
I just think it's so sad, man. Like even when I was doing like classical music, like that was something my teacher always, made a point, was like the beauty behind a live performance is the fact that it's live. So if you mess up, you mess up.
For sure.
And don't worry about the bad note you sang. Make the next note so beautiful they forget, the audience forgets.
For sure.
Bubby, what do you wanna do? You wanna lay down now? You being
Do you want to?
He's like, I want to host this damn show. He's like, you guys aren't cutting it right now.
Hey, anytime y'all want to borrow him, you're more than welcome to.
Yeah, we might need him. We might need to make him the studio dog, honestly.
That's fine. That's totally fine with me.
No, but it's funny because like a lot of artists, they will do like the auto tune while it's performing live, and you almost feel like
it's a stylistic choice. It can be like that's something that T-Pain said. He said the worst thing he ever did for the music industry was introduce auto tune, and he only chose it because he's like, I sound like a robot.
Yeah, for sure. But it's interesting because it does kind of take like the humanness out of it, but also like you don't really have to have that good of a voice if you're going to use auto tune. Like I feel like you could throw Joey's voice on some fucking auto tune.
Sound like that voice if you fucking change it enough.
Well, no, and that's the thing. Like, there's been times because I used to like spend a lot of time at the studio where Paul works.
Yeah,
that's how I met him. And there's like a little kitchenette and like right where his studio is. Malachi, that's a good boy. Settle. Good boy, settle. And like there's a kitchenette like right where his studio is. So, and his studio kind of goes a long ways like with the kitchenette. So like I'd be like making myself something to eat and like hearing like in the studio like around the walls like what the artist like actually sounds like. And then you walk like 5 feet and you hear what's coming out of like Paul's speakers, and I'm like, whoa, that's a difference, man. Like that is, there's a reason he is one of the best vocal producers. And it's not always the case,
For sure. So have you worked with him on all your songs?
Not all of them, just Thriller. And I'm planning on these new songs I've got going on. I want to get in the studio. So Austin, y'all will be meeting him today. He's going to help me like do the live mixing stuff.
For sure.
He is a wonderful engineer. He helped work on a lot of the songs that I have. He used to work at the studio that I was working with, recording those songs. And he, amazing, gearhead, like knowledge when it comes to theory and the history and just like music in general. He's very, very, very talented and one of the most talented musicians I've met in that aspect. And we recorded the new music at a place called Warehouse Studios, which is where they recorded Freebird.
Oh, no
No
way.
way. That's cool.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's
Ryan
crazy.
Turk, he's awesome, really great guy, amazing live room, amazing for like visuals and like audio as well. Really awesome. They put on some live shows and have some really good bands. They're called like Warehouse Shows and the Warehouse Studios. So I think it's Warehouse Studios Jax is like them on Instagram. So definitely check them out.
That's dope.
So they recorded the music, and then Austin's going to be mixing everything for me in his studio. And then once everything is mixed down, then I'm going to go to Paul and be like, "Hi, Paul. Can I use your very expensive, amazing microphone to record my vocals, please?" And so hopefully he'll be like, "Yeah, come on."
That's awesome. So I don't think a lot of people realize how important it is to have like some good equipment. You know what I mean? Like that's everything. I mean, when we first started this podcast, it was just
recording with an Android.
We recorded with that
potato.
Dude, it was literally. It's funny because we had the idea we want to start a podcast, but neither of us have ever done any kind of like, we've never sang, never really been to a studio, never done anything like that. So we didn't really think about how important it would be to go and get some expensive microphones. And like, granted, they were still like $50 or $60 or something, but they were just straight from Amazon.
Yeah.
And you hook them up and put them in your Scarlett 2i2 or whatever it is and like get it all fired up, and it sounds okay, but then once you put it compared to these, like I remember when we first upgraded these microphones and it was like
a whole new world.
It was a whole new world. It really was, because it does like it all kind of just sounds crispier. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure. It's like super crisp.
Yeah,
it sounds like it's like an ASMR microphone. I'm obsessed with ASMR. Like I can't sleep without it. I'm one of those people.
Yeah.
And I absolutely love ASMR. I've like recorded a few ASMR videos. I just like have not released them.
It's funny when me and Joey first got these microphones, and even today he'll do it sometimes. Like when we first get the mics fired up and he's in there, he'll just kind of like make little noises into the microphone, like just kind of warm it up. It's so funny.
I like to sing, and I hit a couple notes. Me and him, before we started today, we sat in the microphones and then we kind of find a harmonizer.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah, he's got hidden talent. It's there.
I sing a lot in the shower. That's where I get it from.
The acoustics in the shower are great.
That's crazy.
I've written my best songs in the bathroom and in my car.
Stairwells. Stairwells sound good
I
too.
have one.
Do you?
In my job a lot, I walk up and down.
Oh yeah, you're in like an empty building. I bet you anywhere in the job site. It's funny because the song that I really liked about yours was Ghost Girl. Shit's fire.
Thank you.
Was that real, like based off of
I was going through some hardcore shit.
Oh, man. I believe it.
Like it was that song pulled me. I was in like a really deep depression. Like I mean, I guess I say depression lightly. I've never been like clinically diagnosed with anything, and those who are, I'm so sorry. Like I definitely had like those moments, like the lyrics of I'm haunted by the memories that I don't want.
Yeah.
Yeah. Every now and then I can get real distraught. If happiness means I have to take a pill, if it'll keep me alive, then fuck it, I will.
Yeah.
That's a very
intense.
Yeah, it's intense, but it's real. Like it's something I went through, and then it's every song I write is basically just me processing something. Sometimes it's a story. I'm like trying to make one of my new songs is called I Know. And that one was fun. I always like make it like a fun game for me. Like I was like, how much can I get away in this song with saying just 2 words? I know. And it's basically like a one-sided conversation between like someone and someone else. And like, it started off completely different, and then it ended up being like I said, a one-sided conversation between 2 people, and it's like, like we shouldn't be together, like there's no reason we should be, like we hate each other, but like okay, we'll do it just like one more time, like just like that will they, won't they, enemies to lovers, kind of thing, and everybody's probably like never expecting them 2 people to be together, and maybe they're like really bad for each other, but like literally 75% of the song is I know.
I like it. So most of your music is based off of like things you've gone through at that time.
Yeah, and what's crazy is like I Know was like not even based on anything I was going through, but like I guess just writing it, I just like manifested myself into that situation, and it ended up coming true. And then like I couldn't finish it until like me and that person and once we did, I finished the song, and I was like, okay, it's out of my system. Like,
how long did it take to create the song, like from start to finish?
So it started when a couple years ago I was coming home from the singer-songwriter festival down in Key West, and like after you go to like a singer-songwriter festival, you're just like flooded with like so much inspiration. Like, man, I gotta write something now. I gotta write something new, and I hadn't slept in days because it was an 8-hour drive down there after a 3-hour gig at like midnight. And then I played all weekend and then drove 8 hours back through the Keys and all the way back up to Jacksonville. And like, you know, the whole drive, the whole 8 hours, I'm just like sitting there recording, just like, you know, ideas, lyrics, melodies and all that. And I was like, you know, like about it, like 8 months later, I was like going through my phone and just listening to all the little ideas I had. And I had like a little, and I was like, okay. And I kept singing the words like, I know.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I know. And so just started writing it. And then it took about, I guess from like absolute start to finish, probably like a year, maybe
Oh, wow,
a year and
okay.
a half. Like, yeah, I'm not one of those. Like, I mean, I've pumped out songs in like 20 minutes. And if somebody's paying me to write them a song, like I can do it in like a couple hours. You know,
Yeah.
that's no problem. Without ChatGPT too.
I was gonna
Wow.
say,
That's
I could write one in 10.
Because I use ChatGPT every day.
Yeah,
for
no,
everything.
Joey's a
there's-
ChatGPT fan.
There's only been a couple times I've used ChatGPT, and it was for writing a song in Spanish. Because like I'm not a Spanish speaker, but I really wanted to write something in a different language. So I used a combination of like ChatGPT and Google Translate. And then I would write it in Google Translate, and then I would like go to ChatGPT and be like, how do I write this sentence, not even a song, but this sentence more conversationally for somebody who is a native Spanish speaker. And so it would like give me that, and then I'd put that back into Google Translate and see what it actually translated to, and you know, I just go back and forth, and I still have to go through the last process of like going to native Spanish speakers and being like, does this song make sense? Do you like this song? Like,
For
really
sure.
listen to the words, and you know, whatever corrections they're willing to give, I'll take it and I'll give them writer's credit, you know.
That's
But,
cool.
yeah, like I don't like using ChatGPT, and I have tried to like help me with writing a song, but I just hated everything it came up with, and it just wasn't good, and it was just lazy. And I
Oh,
didn't
Joey will
like it.
use ChatGPT to make a bowl of cereal.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think he's using it much to like
If
write
you
a
prompt
song.
it right, it'll do whatever you want.
It's so funny. Yeah, he used it to draft his fantasy football league. I mean, granted, he got dead last, but it was still
Not dead last.
okay. Not dead last,
Second
very
to
close.
last, no.
And it was funny though. He'll use it for the most random stuff too. Like I'm like, hey, do you have anything you want to talk about in the intro today or whatever? He's like, yeah. So he pulls up his ChatGPT and all his history. I'm like,
What should I talk about with an artist who is country but kind of alternative? Like,
yeah. And one thing that you've been doing is I saw you use the hashtag Yallternative.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Like that's a funny name.
Well,
What does that mean? Explain that.
it's like, and I've been seeing a lot of people use it now, and I feel like, man, I've been using that shit for like years at this point. I'm not saying I created it.
Yeah.
I ain't saying that, but like probably one of the first. No.
And you coined it.
I kind of feel like I did, but Yallternative and what was it? There was like two of them. It was Yallternative and something else. But yeah, it means, you know, I'm country, but I'm not.
There's
Yeah.
an alternative side.
There's a little bit of alternative side. Like, you know, I definitely pull influences from, when I say all genres, like I legit mean, I'm not talking about just, you know, whatever's on the radio and a little bit of rap and a little bit of country. Like, I don't even listen to country music half the time. I really don't.
Yeah.
It's just what comes out when I write. It's
Yeah.
just so ingrained in me. It's where I'm from. It's who I am, you know, just really deep down. And it's just what comes out when I sing. And to me, Yallternative means, you know, exactly what it sounds like. Yallternative.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, it's alternative with a little bit of a country twang on it, you know? And honestly, like being country is like kind of goth, man. Like it's kind of is like super alternative. Like we got grandma and grandpa just buried in the backyard, man.
Yeah.
Like it's fine. We got all kinds of dogs out there. We got a dog cemetery. And
We got a dog in here.
we got a dog in here. You know, we got taxidermied animals on the wall that we killed ourselves.
Yeah, no, true.
Like, come on.
It is actually kind of goth. Though,
It's
to put it like
super
that.
goth. Like, do you know, like, my grandfather literally, in his living room alone, he had his deers taxidermied in a way that they were all looking at you wherever you sat down in the living room. Like, there was one looking straight on, there was one kind of looking to the side, looking over here, and one, like, he had
That is
in
so
every
funny.
corner, so it was looking at you. You know, we got, what else, man? Like, you know, it's we all wear like thick, big old boots, and you
Yeah.
know, it's just it's very goth.
It's
and-
funny that she mentioned the Florida Keys writers thing, whatever, like writers festival.
Singer-songwriter festival, yeah.
Because we actually sat down with an artist when we were in Nashville that went and did that same thing right after we met up with him, and he seemed like the same way. Like he left so inspired, and he was just like ready to create more music.
Oh yeah, really. I feel like I was more inspired because nothing for nothing. I just got like, I felt like when I was down there, I heard the same song like 19 times.
Yeah.
They're like, I wrote this song for this artist with 19 different people, and this is this song. And then, you know, I felt inspired. I was like, man, like, this is what country music is right now.
Gotta
like,
switch it up.
Yeah, man, we gotta help this, man. But I mean, help whatever. Millions of people around the world love the country music that is being played and being recorded and listened to right now. And that obviously speaks for itself. You know, who am I to judge with my 4,000 followers, you know, to judge anybody.
No, but I was surprised
but
you only have 4,000 followers because you go through your music and it's like fucking really raw.
Yeah,
like it's great music.
Great.
I don't think I've just learned the proper way to promote myself yet. I think that's something that I've really, really, really struggled with. Like I said, I just started working with a social media manager. Shout out to Deanna.
I think it's cool to be that way though, as opposed to the other version where it's like you're really good at promoting yourself on social media,
and
but
you're not good.
You're not a good artist.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So at least with you, it's like
Hello.
you have the talent and you know what you need to do. You just need to just
Get out there.
Everything you do is kind of old school anyway. You know what I mean? Like you don't like auto tune.
Yeah.
Like you want to keep everything as like traditional as possible. So it's like,
but with also like trying to like break the barriers and bring something new.
For
like,
sure.
I think there's just like a missed market, man. And I think, you know, with all the physical media that's going around, I really think that there's going to be a switch up.
Oh,
here
for sure.
in the next few years where people are like, I'm sick of hearing the same song over and over. I'm sick of hearing the same type of voice. I'm sick of hearing the same type of music. I'm sick of hearing, you know, the same type of like manufactured, polished, whatever. Like I want the raw, you know, there's a reason why Nirvana is like coming back. There's a reason why, you know, you think Kurt Cobain was using Melodyne and auto-tune? That motherfucker didn't care.
Yeah.
He did not care.
yeah.
I think I sent you that video when BBC asked them to like, they said, we're going to need you to pretend to play.
Yeah.
And they were like, what?
Yeah.
You want us to pretend to play? So they came out rocking and then they just went. Like, not even actually playing. And then Kurt Cobain was like, you want me to sing over a track? Screw you, dude. Like, hello. Like, he was not having it,
It is
you
so
know?
funny, yeah.
It's hilarious. Like,
Are you picky over the artists that you want to collaborate with? Because
not really.
Okay.
I love doing like R&B. I've done several like hooks for R&B music, and some have been released, some haven't. You know, I think some people just make it for themselves. And I did one with an artist named Ace Vane. He's pretty popular like on TikTok and Instagram, but like not for rapping, for like doing these dubbed cartoons. He's really funny. He's like the funniest guy ever. And he's done like a bunch of like cover raps and like parody raps. And so everybody was like, oh, release a rap album. So he did. And we have a song called Beautiful Death.
Okay.
So it's really, I love that song. Like, it's one of my favorite things. And I had no idea what was going on. I was just chilling in the studio. It's like 3:00 in the morning. I'm making me some cheesy bread, like, you know, and then they just come in and they're like, hey, like, can you come sing this hook real quick? I'm like, can I finish my cheesy bread first? And they're like, yeah. Just like come in whenever you're done. So like I come in. And they're like, all right, we need you to sing, this will be a beautiful death, I'm jumping out the window. I'm like, and apparently that's like an outro from a Kanye West song. So like, hopefully he sues me so I can get famous. No.
That's the second week in a row someone said they want to get sued. You get famous.
It's a great way to start getting
It's
famous.
a cheat code. It's a cheat
No,
code.
literally, because imagine the headline, like, small-time country artist gets sued by Yeezy. You know what I mean? Like, and everybody be like, what? And then they want to
That
go
is
listen
so
to the
funny.
song, like, why should, you know? But it was Ace Vane, another one called, is it Bosswood or Flowwood? Let me just look it up because I don't want to be wrong. But, and then the producer on it was Wonder Kid. I mean, oh my gosh, he's also amazing. Beautiful Death. Bosswood, that's right. So Ace Vane, me, and Bosswood made this song, and it was one of my favorites I've ever done, and I had so much fun. And
when you're performing, like when you're doing a live show, is it all just your original music, or do you do things in there like, because I can only imagine like sometimes even when me and Joey go out and we'll like specifically go out to see that artist, they'll do a lot of covers too.
So it depends on what type of show it is. Like there's cover gigs. So I'll play at Lynch's. I love Lynch's. I love playing.
Oh,
at
she would
Lynch's.
crush Lynch's.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I play
you-
there like all the time.
Oh my God. I could
love it.
you would love Lynch's.
No,
That's
I'm
funny.
playing there in April. I think I'm pretty positive. April 5th, I'm playing there again. I play there like every so often that I can.
We gotta get the gang out there. That'd be
we'll
so
be
fun.
Please do. Yeah, I always start a mosh pit. I don't mean to, but every time we start playing some Nirvana, like people just start like
Yeah.
Do you
moshing.
crowd surf? Do you ever crowd surf?
No, I am 5'8" and too big for that mess. Like, unless it's a crowd of like super buff, like unless like a bunch of Navy dudes come into Lynch's, like I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
No, just because they'll be able to hold me up, you know.
No, but I bet everyone that goes to Lynch's loves your music. I
Yeah.
mean, it's like that's the band.
especially the covers that I do. Yeah.
I believe it. What's your favorite cover to do?
I have a bunch. My set list is for my cover gigs is like 3.5 hours long, and
What's one you just tee off on though? Like I just got to know because
Do you
your
ever
voice
do
is
like Paramore?
I haven't.
Really?
I can't taint it, man. Like I love Haley Williams and like my acoustic shows, like I'll do some Paramore, like, you know, some like slow down stuff. She's got a crazy range, and after like a 3-hour gig, man, like I don't know if
Yeah,
I
it's
can
a lot.
pull
Do you ever
that
do
off,
old
but
Miley stuff?
I've been wanting to. It's just a matter of getting my band to do it. Like that song, "See You Again." Like
Oh,
I
yeah.
love that song. When I'm like, I'm a Miley fan. Like I'm not talking about like Flowers, man. Like
Yeah,
I'm talking
yeah.
about like Hannah Montana shit.
For
Like,
sure.
Hannah Montana was probably like my biggest influence. And for a while, I did my hair kind of like in a Hannah Montana style, where I had like black in the front and then like blonde on top. So like if I pushed all my hair back, I would look like a brunette, and then I'd flip it forward and it'd be all blonde. So
That's cool.
but I did a movie and I was blonde in the movie. They wanted to keep my hair, and just like, you know, I just got tired of the blonde. I was like, had like kind of like an identity crisis. Like after the movie, I was like, it's not me anymore. I can just change it. So,
What's your go-to whenever you're out there and you're like, let's get this crowd fired up? Do you ever do Thriller live?
no.
Because I can only
haven't.
imagine like
It's
the instruments
hard.
on that. Like you got to have
Yeah.
people that are so talented to
well,
make that song happen.
I fortunately get to work with some of the most talented musicians in Jacksonville, like Leroy Copeland. Shout out Leroy, is probably one of the most talented musicians I've ever met.
Who's your
least in
guitarist?
Jacksonville. Leroy Copeland.
Okay, cool. Because there's
On my songs, like he played every instrument on that record.
okay, there's a guy Chris. I wanna like bridge this gap because I feel like you could make some really good music with him. He's so
Did
like
he play for Madison?
yeah,
That
he's
dude was
so
good.
fucking talented.
What does he play?
Like
Guitar?
Yeah.
I think he plays a couple things, but
Oh, yeah.
he's very just like. I mean, there's times like throughout Madison's songs where he'll just kind of freestyle.
Yeah.
And he shreds.
He shreds
Yeah.
it up. And
No,
so I'm
yeah.
like, I feel like you could
That's
definitely
how-
use him for a lot of your music.
That's how I
'cause-
feel like Leroy is. Like you tell, like if you just sing something, Leroy will play it.
Okay,
Like
word.
and if you're like, I want you to melt my face, he'll be like, okay, and then do it. And if I'm like, no, I want something twangy, he's like, okay. Like you
Yeah.
can give him any artist and he can be that.
replicate.
You know,
Yeah,
he can replicate that. And I think that goes such a long way because he still has his own sound and own style.
For sure.
But because like he's just so drawn in by like all kinds of music as well. Huge Beatles fan. I love the Beatles.
You could do like a soundtrack for Yellowstone or some shit. You know what I mean? Like, couldn't she could do like a song for like
As an actor,
like some
that's always been my goal. Like I would love to be able to like do a song on Yellowstone and
Yeah.
like come play a character.
Me and my
like,
girl just finished Yellowstone, and I had always heard about it, but I never really knew like how great it actually
Yeah.
was. I'm like ready to go own a fucking ranch. Like
I've always
no,
wanted to own a
for
ranch,
real.
yeah.
I could totally go live that lifestyle just because they make it seem so fun. I'm sure it sucks, but it's
Oh,
like.
yeah. Well, if you have cowboys that are doing it for you and you just
Yeah.
like reap the benefits, like it's fine, you know?
No, for
and just go
sure.
ride a horse whenever you want to.
Yeah.
But-
But just like there's certain people in that show, like Beth Dutton's energy, and
I
even
love her.
even just like Jesse, like some of the guys in that show, where I'm just like, that's a bad motherfucker
Yeah.
right there. But no, I could totally see you doing a soundtrack for something like that. You know what I
you.
mean? Just
No, I would absolutely love to, especially like these new songs. Like I'm to the point now where like I can finally tell producers and musicians like what I want.
Yeah.
You know, especially starting out, that was something that I really struggled with was my language, not like cussing or whatever, but like my
Communication.
exactly, my communication like with producers and musicians. Like I just couldn't communicate exactly what I could.
being transparent of like what you want.
Yes, of what I want.
sure.
I couldn't describe it, you
Yeah.
know, and now I've learned enough of the jargon and the way to communicate to musicians. You know, I've played for Virgin Voyages and did like a tour with them, and I've like traveled. I can now say I've traveled the world playing music.
That's dope. Do you ever do you do campaigns for when you do a drop? Like you see some artists and when they have like a big drop coming out, it's like they change their whole identity for like the time period before that song drops. And it's like they're only promoting that same song. And then like sometimes it works. Like I'm not gonna lie, there's been artists where I'm not even a huge fan of them, but just their campaign reels me and I'm like, I love this song.
Yeah.
But then there's other artists where it's like, okay, I've heard this song 50 times in the last 2 days. Like give me a fucking break. You know what I mean?
I don't know. Like I said, I just started working with a social media manager, so she's starting to get me understanding that side of things, because that's something I just never understood was social media.
Yeah, the shit you post is so funny though. I will say
so?
Don't get away from of what you're doing now, because I mean, obviously I've only been following you for a few weeks, but it's so it's so fucking funny.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? Like I'm sure your stories at least get a bunch of engagement just because it's like really. I mean, it's so a lot of the stuff is like really funny, but it's like I
just find funny memes and I'm like, this is funny. People will like this.
You're
and then
just not promoting your music 24/7. So sometimes it's like a kind of a nice balance. You know what I mean? To have an artist that's like also just human.
I don't ever want to my platforms are not for just promoting my music. They're for promoting me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And if you don't like me, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah,
maybe you'll like my music, you know?
Sure, yeah.
Maybe you'll like my movie where I show my boobies, you know? I don't know, but
there's a movie where you show your tits.
Yeah.
I was gonna just let it go, but that was so funny. She just slid it under the rug. That's hilarious.
Everybody starts somewhere with their first feature.
No,
you know,
damn right.
I did a B, maybe C horror movie, you know, and super, super low budget, like less than $100,000, like
was it
low
scary?
budget. I mean, I guess, I don't know. Not for me. Like, I mean, I'm acting in it. So the scariest part was
showing your boobies.
Yes. Yes. Well, I will say the scene where the actor I did it with, he's a very good friend of mine. And,
No.
Malachi, no Bubby. You can't fit in their lap.
Come on, where are you gonna sit, bud?
I know. He's like right on you. What do you mean? I just sit on top of you like I do my mom. That's his voice. It's very, he talks like this. He's very derpy.
Oh no, it fits it perfect.
Yes. Just big teddy bear.
He's a cute little thing.
Thank you.
Well, cute big thing.
Big thing, yeah. He said, I little, I tiny, I petite.
So, Madison, I want to do a new segment that we started. And since we've been in the new studio space, we always like to switch the segments up every time we move studios. And the new segment that we're doing for this space is called On the Clock. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is On the Clock with Madison Grace.
I feel like it's 2015 when I hear that.
Yeah, no, for real. So how this segment's going to work is we're going to rapid fire questions for you a minute. It's just this or that questions, and just answer truthfully. And then, Joey, when you start the timer on this, you don't have to turn towards the camera because I'm going to throw a timer on the screen.
Okay.
Here we go. Let me just get the ones. I'm going to get the ones we use.
Down.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You sent me a new one this morning. Okay. Y'all ready?
You ready?
Y'all ready for this? Y'all, you need to add that to your sound.
That would actually be so funny. We do it for a minute straight before we go.
That would be good.
All right.
You ready?
Uno, dos, tres, cuatro. Coffee or tea?
No, neither. Tea, I guess, if I had to choose.
Sneakers or boots?
Oh, boots.
Sunrise or sunset?
Sunset.
Netflix or YouTube?
Oh, YouTube.
Pizza or tacos?
Pizza.
Android or iPhone?
iPhone.
City life or country life?
Country life.
Cats or dogs?
Ooh, dogs.
Oh,
I was going to say that was...
You have a cat?
I have a cat too.
Hot weather or cold weather?
Cold.
Sweet or salty?
Depends on the time of the month, but I guess I'm going to go with salty right now.
Action movies or comedies?
Why not both? Comedy.
Texting or calling?
Pancakes or waffles?
Wait.
Colin.
Pancakes or waffles?
Do you like waffles? Yeah, I like waffles. Pancakes.
Mountains or beaches?
Mountains.
Early bird or night owl?
Night owl.
Books or audiobooks?
Audiobooks.
Beer or wine?
Neither. I don't like alcohol.
Tattoos or Tattoos or piercings?
Tattoos. I'm a little bitch when it comes to piercings.
It's funny, the beer or wine one. Joey just recently switched sides on the beer or wine one. That boy,
I'm a wine drinker now.
Yeah.
I can't. I've never liked alcohol.
I don't like alcohol much either, but if I do, it's...
Yeah.
Before you perform, do you ever have a routine? Do you take a couple shots or do you just...
Smoke a joint.
Okay, yeah. A little something.
I used to smoke very heavily, but I kind of slowed down here recently. I ran out and then just never bought any more.
Yeah. Nice.
But I definitely see a difference in my performance. I suck when I'm not high.
Really?
Yeah, I get so in my head and I'm just not in the moment. Like, and I don't get like,
You're not loosened up.
yeah, and I don't get like absolutely blitz. Like, no, I'm just like, okay, all right.
Yeah.
We can
and then
do
like
this,
my shoulders aren't up by my ears anymore. You know
Right,
what I mean?
yeah.
Like they're down a little bit. And
For sure.
I can definitely tell like when I can just feel a difference, you know, and it's not like I said, I'm not getting like blaze it, you know, but
Yeah.
I'm just enough just to like kind of chill me out and like might take an edible maybe or like, you know, do something, but
Something to calm the nerves.
yes, exactly. Something to kind of calm me down enough to like not just be up in my head.
When you're up there
goodness.
performing, do you ever pay attention to the crowd, or are you so focused on the music that you're just kind of like zoning out and you're just focusing on each note?
Just depends. Like I pay attention to the crowd in the sense of like if they're enjoying it, if they're not, you know, like do I need to kind of tweak the set list based on like how they're reacting?
For sure.
But during the actual performance of the song, like I'm so engrossed in the performance of acting out the song, feeling the song, and remembering the lyrics and the chords and what to do with my body and what to do with my face and how to breathe properly and how to, you know, pronounce everything properly and how to do everything properly. It's a lot of mental in your mind when you're singing, but it also has to feel effortless and has to be effortless, you know?
For sure.
And so it just depends. But yeah, like during the actual performance of the song, I like black out for a little while. And if you've ever seen that movie Soul, it's like about it hit home real hard too, because I was like, I can't watch the rest of this. Like, but it's about a musician who just like, he's like on a way to like his first gig in a long time and he just like dies. And then like it's like it's a Disney movie.
Wow.
And,
No
Yeah,
way.
it's a Disney movie and it's like about like where his soul goes. And within the movie, like it's showing you like the I forgot what they call it, but it's like the place. Ooh, Bubby. What?
We're still good.
Damn, that dog has some big balls. You were not lying.
I told you.
Jesus.
We're gonna.
boy
He's
got
like here for the
That
camera.
boy got a
Clackers
sack
You're
on
gonna have
him,
to, like-
boy.
You ever, seen
Goodness.
you ever seen those clackers?
He's like, quit talking about my balls.
Oh my gosh, that's so
you got some
funny.
big balls.
He does got some big balls.
Put
on
some
him.
respect on
Yeah,
that.
but-
But it's
You're
a and like it's talking about like musicians, like where they go, or like people who are like doing the things that they love to do, like where they go, and it's like this, like they close their eyes and it's like just them in this like blue and purple, like sparkly, just like space.
Yeah.
And when I saw that, like I started freaking out because I'm like, holy, like that is where I go.
Yeah.
Like that's where I go. Like when I'm on stage, even if my eyes are open and I'm like giving you faces, and like if my eyes are closed, it doesn't matter. Like everything around me like blacks out, and I'm in this like weird like transitional like space of, you know, just it's just me and the music, man. And
Yeah.
and it's so calming and energetic, but like scary at the same time.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like every emotion.
Which
you
song
know,
is your favorite that you've made?
that I've
Like,
made?
do you have a personal favorite?
Right now, it's a song that's called God's Favorite.
Okay. It's a good favorite.
Yeah, right.
It's God's favorite too.
Yeah, and it's basically I had one person describe it. They were like, when I just wrote it, they were like, play that new song where you're just like shitting on everything. I'm like, okay, and because it's a lot. Like, you know, that's the song I talked about. You know, that was my lyric about recently I gave up smoking cigarettes. I mean, I can like tell you some of the lyrics. I can read them off. It can be an episode of Genius lyrics, you know. But it's like, recently I gave up smoking cigarettes, but I still crave the taste of it after sex. It only takes a second to make a new regret, but it sure takes a lifetime to try and forget.
Ooh,
You know?
that's good.
It just builds and builds and builds until I get to like this kind of like bridge rap part, and it's like, you know, I'm very proud of it. It's the star-studded galaxies started with sacred ovaries. They took away memories when they shunned mother's mammaries. You can take a wild guess, but humans are the cause of it. The holy wars and bloodshed, Gaia's wilting breast. We murder and we pillage her children by the village. No longer the ignorant. We kill the innocent and blame it on religion and who is God's favorite. Never quite made sense why we slaughter brethren like this.
Ooh.
So say what you want to
That shit's
say
kinda
and
tough.
pray how you want to pray, because at the end of the day, we all end up in a grave, eaten by the earth and then digested by the worms, and we cannot begin to comprehend what happens after death. I'm sorry. I
That's
just
fire.
made you angry. So
That's sick.
Crazy. That's
thank
good.
you. And I have a lot.
Is that on Spotify?
No, not yet.
Okay, I was gonna
haven't
say,
even
I was like, I
recorded
need to
that
hear
song
that.
yet. It's gonna be a lot. Like,
Yeah.
it's probably gonna be my most expensive song because I think I have like some ties into like the Jacksonville Symphony, and I would love nothing more than to get some like players from the symphony to come and like play on that song, because basically like I'm planning on like, it starts off acoustic and then it builds to like a Tool metal. Like psychedelic metal kind of thing, you know. The song "Ride in 2" by Tool is like kind of my inspo sound for that, like the way it like feels and sounds. And then it's just gonna like build and build and build like to like a gent psychedelic thing, because it's only 2 chords, so it's like very gent in that sense. And it'll build and have like a whole symphony there at the end of it, and like just feel very like,
That's sick.
yeah. It's gonna be my most expensive song, so I've not recorded it yet,
Yeah.
but I have a couple demos of it, and that song and the song I Know, my song Nauseous. I don't know. I love all my songs. They're like my babies.
Yeah.
Like I can't really, it's hard to choose, but probably God's Favorite is probably my favorite one right now, at least. Until
I love it.
I think it's the best song I've ever written. I think it's the most honest and raw song I've ever written. And until I write one that is just as good or better, I probably won't have another one.
Yeah, I love your authenticity. Like, it's really cool how you actually care about the art of making music.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, I mean,
as opposed to just like making, you know, money or making it sound good or
I
whatever.
don't know if, honestly, I don't know if I would be here if it wasn't for my music.
Really? Wow, that's fucking dope.
Or I'd be a serial killer.
I think without music, we'd all be a little bit
Yeah.
crazy in the head for sure.
Yeah, people. I mean, even Patrick Bateman loved music, so you know, it's. I think that speaks volumes.
For sure.
It's people who don't like music. I don't think that they have a soul.
Right.
And you have like your equipment, like your guitar and everything here today?
Oh, I said my car. Guitar's
Okay,
in the car.
we should do a sound check after we get done with this.
I'm like so down.
Let's
yeah.
do it. That would be so
I can
cool.
play you God's Favorite if you want to hear it.
Oh my God, that'd be
Yeah.
sick. That would be so
That'd be
dope.
nice.
Okay, so let's definitely jump into that.
Hell yeah.
Madison, thank you so much for coming
Thank you
through.
so much
This
for
is so
having
dope.
me.
Episode
I hope I get to come
117. Oh my God, are you kidding me? You got only for Bring Malachi.
Yeah,
Oh,
Malachi.
of course.
has to
Come on,
Yeah,
y'all
he's-
are a package deal.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Shout out to all the OGs that have been listening to this episode, man. This episode 117. Wait, Joe, do you have anything else, brother? Are we good?
No, I mean, thank you for coming on.
Thank you
for
It's been
having
great.
me.
Yeah,
Thank
it was a
you.
great conversation.
I'm a talker, dude. So
And
you
I
gotta cut
love
me off.
Yallternative.
No, we love. No, trust me, we love when a guest comes in here and they can talk.
We love
because
yappers.
me and
Yappers are
Joey,
good.
we yap 24/7. We already yapped 15 minutes before this episode started, so we're like, okay, we need.
If I
someone
get to
else.
sit here and listen to you tell your story the whole time and I don't have to say much, I love it.
He's
Hell yeah, man.
But no, shout out to all the OGs that are listening to this episode. This episode 117. If you guys enjoyed this episode, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, show love on YouTube. Also, show love on that Spotify. Baby.
Come on.
I'm not gonna lie, Spotify number's been up, so we're all very happy with you guys. But I mean, if you've been listening every single week, like at least hit that follow on
Yeah,
Spotify.
come on now.
And then Apple Music. I mean, we know there's some people on their Apple Podcasts that are still over on that lane. We ain't going to really address it right now, but shout out to all you guys for listening to the episode.
Grow up.
If you guys want to look as sexy as Joey Allen does right now, that's ogsessions.com. Get that merch, baby. We just dropped the whole winter line. And I mean, actually, I got some winter line on me right now. I'll tell you.
Nice.
Windbreaker?
Shit's tough. I'm not going to lie. Like, definitely a big fan of all
Do
the
you
winter
feel the
stuff we
wind
drop.
right now?
Actually, it's being broke. Yeah, so
That's crazy.
Oh my God, it
that?
does feel a little windy in here. No, but seriously, shout out to everyone that listened to this episode. If you guys want to follow us on social media, that's going to be OG Sessions Pod on everything except for TikTok, which actually by the time this episode comes out, TikTok's already banned. So
I
forget
think
it.
they overturned it though.
No way.
They did.
Oh, shut
It's
the
still
fuck
banned,
up.
but it's still here. It's
Did
weird.
you see everybody
Okay.
joining like the Chinese version of TikTok?
I'm not doing it.
I'm not either. I'm not
saw
signing
it.
up for the Chinese military.
Fuck
Fuck
no.
that.
There's a like stat that went up on Duolingo that people were learning Chinese more
Oh
than
my
any
God.
other
That's
language.
crazy.
It like went up like 200% or something, and I was like, damn.
They're
I'll
taking
tell you right
over.
now, I ain't moving to China for TikTok. I'm
don't
actually
need
kind of
it.
glad. We're actually kind of happy TikTok is going away.
Yeah.
You know, to be honest, it's just one less platform for us to post on 24/7. So, if you guys want to follow us on Instagram or X, that's gonna be OG Sessions Pod. And if you guys want more bonus content, baby, you know where to go. Joey, tell them.
Hit that Patreon.
Patreon, baby. It's going to be patreon.com/OG Sessions. Choose a membership that's right for you, and let's get this shit cooking, baby.
Yes, sir.
This is episode 117 of the OG Sessions podcast. Shout out Madison Grace for coming through. You were an
Thank you
incredible
so
guest.
much for
And thank you
having
so
me.
much for bringing our cutest guest of all time.
I mean, potential mascot.
Yeah.
Oh, stop. He will start howling with you. He
Easy,
will.
Joey.
was the
Easy,
point.
Joey.
He's like, oh, that's what we're doing now? Okay, cool.
No, but seriously, got to get you back in here for
Oh,
part 2.
please.
And I
I
mean,
would love
anytime, you got a show coming up or anything and you want us to help promote,
Oh, thank you so
you already
much.
know where to go. Yeah, I mean,
Thank
the boy
you.
will be there anyway. So let's
Hell
just,
yeah.
if anyone wants to come party with the boys one night, listen to some Madison Grace. We're going to make this shit
Oh, yeah.
pop.
Come on.
We will see y'all next week. We are out.
Peace.